This video is teaching how to convert from slope-intercept form of a line to general form of a line. So we're going to start with the example y equals negative 2 over 5x plus 3. If you recall, general form of equation is ax plus by plus c equals 0. And the rule is that a, b, and c cannot be fractions or decimals. So they must be whole numbers. And a must be positive. If you'll notice, in general form, everything's on one side of the equals. It doesn't matter if it's on the left or the right hand side. Our first step is that we want to move our y to the right hand side so everything is on one side of the equals. And there's a 0 on the left hand side of the equals. The sign in front of the y is positive or plus, so we must subtract y from the left hand side. And if we subtract it from the left hand side, we must also subtract it from the right hand side of the equation. Y minus y is 0, and we still have negative 2 over 5x plus 3, and now minus y on the right hand side of the equation. Our next step is to get rid of our fraction, because we can't have a fraction in general form. The denominator of this fraction is a 5, so we must multiply all parts of the equation by the number 5. 0 times 5, negative 2x over 5 times 5, 3 times 5, and negative y times 5. 0 times 5 is 0. The idea behind multiplying everything by the denominator is so that we can get rid of our denominator. So if we look at this portion, we have negative 2 times 5, which is negative 10, divided by 5 is negative 2. So we can see that what's really happening here is when we multiply by 5, we're canceling the denominator on that one. So we'll be left with negative 2x. 3 times 5 equals 15, and it's positive 15. And now we have a negative y times 5, which is negative 5y. This equation still is not in general form because our a value, the one in the coefficient in front of the x, is negative, and it must be positive. So in order to change that to a positive, we can do one of two things. We can either divide everything by a negative 1, or we can multiply everything by a negative 1. I am going to choose to divide by negative 1. So I'm going to divide the 0 by negative 1, the negative 2x by negative 1, the 15 by negative 1, and the negative 5y by negative 1. 0 divided by anything is just 0. Negative divided by a negative is positive, and 2x divided by 1 is 2x. Positive 15 divided by negative 1 is negative 15. And negative 5y divided by negative 1 is positive 5y. At this point, we almost have general form, but general form has to be in the format of ax plus by plus c equals 0. We need to move our y so it comes before the constant value of negative 15. All we have to do is move it with its sign. So we have 0 equals 2x. The sign in front of the 5y is positive, so we can just move it into its place, and it's positive 5y. And the sign in front of the 15 is negative 15. If you prefer to have your 0 on the right hand side, you can always just write 2x plus 5y minus 15 equals 0, making sure our signs remain with our coefficients. Now to do a check. A must be positive. It is. A, B, and C cannot be fractions or decimals. They must be whole numbers. They are. And do we go in the order of ax plus by plus c? X, y plus our constant equals 0. We've now switched over from slope-intercept form to general form.